Hey everyone, Michael Rapaski with Keller Williams Greater Commercial coming to you today to talk about listings in the commercial marketplace. So if you were preparing for a commercial listing or maybe you already have one, congratulations. They're very exciting opportunities. A lot of big wins come from those as they do in everything, right? Listings, leads, and leverage. It's no different in commercial than it is in residential. So let's talk about what makes a commercial listing a little bit different. The first thing I want to talk about is the property details that you want to collect during your listing presentation or after you've completed a listing. So depending on your property type, you're going to be asking different questions to learn more about the details of the property. So industrial spaces, again, clarifying clearance heights, number of man doors, dock doors, garage doors, number of drains in the floor can sometimes be really important depending on what's happening in the space. Retail spaces, if it's currently built out, does the chattel come with it? What sort of build outs are permissible? Do they want restaurants, not want restaurants? Any certain types of tenants that are particularly interesting or not interesting to the landlord. From an office space standpoint, you want to get details around what the opportunities to move walls or combined offices are, because while you might have 2,000 square foot office spaces listed, somebody might want to bring those together. Knowing that ahead of time allows you to list the property a little bit differently, potentially get more interest. Second thing you want to think about with a commercial listing is the marketing component. So unlike every residential listing, or 99% of them, not every commercial listing is going to have a sign out front. If you think about it from a business standpoint, it makes a lot of sense. If I've got a 40-unit apartment building, I don't want to spook my tenants by putting a big sign out front that says it's for sale, and then I might not get my leases updated. That hurts my income, that hurts my ability to sell it. So where you market it digitally is going to be as important, if not more important, than the sign in the yard. So there are opportunities to list on the MLS as a commercial property. The traffic of commercial brokers and commercial buyers on the MLS is nowhere near what it is on platforms like CoStar, LoopNet, Crexi, CityFeet. There's a number of different platforms to use that market directly to commercial consumers or commercial brokers. And the broker-to-broker relationship is going to be one of the most powerful things from a commercial listing standpoint. When you get a new listing, you want to tell everybody, especially the other brokers, right? Because they have clients who are looking and mulling and thinking about expanding. And when the opportunity comes up, it allows them to start a conversation, bring people through your space, and potentially get a deal done much more quickly than the marketplace average would have it. So marketing, very important, and a little bit of a tweak versus what you're going to see in residential. The next thing is showings. This is going to be very different than residential. Unlike a listing that you might have in residential where you throw a lockbox on the property and move on, not necessarily move on, but somebody else is coming through showing your property. It's not the case with commercial. I would say 95% of the time you are going to be doing your own showing, because as those property details and nuances about the property and things that the landlord's willing to do and not willing to do, it's hard for those to all come across in a marketing packet that another agent can pick up and then run with. So you being there is going to be an important part of selling the space. Additionally, whether the space is attached to a current business, is currently being used for storage, has some other purpose, whatever it is, it's not always going to lend itself to throwing a lockbox on there and then having another agent come through with clients. So showings, very important that you are doing them, and almost required is the way I would look at it. And then the final thing that we'll want to talk about regarding a listing is the transaction type that your client is interested in. So when we think about transaction types for a sale, there are a lot, shouldn't say a lot, but you will see seller financing come up more often in the commercial marketplace than you might in the residential marketplace. And so it's important to have those conversations as early as possible so that you know with a particular buyer what your options are in terms of helping to bring them into the space. From a leasing standpoint, you'll want to clarify the type of the lease, full gross, modified gross, triple net, the term of the lease. Hey, I don't want anything less than 3 years. I don't want anything more than 7 years. obviously your rates, the intended build outs, and then if there's anybody that the landlord doesn't want involved with the property. So when you think about all that again, your major differences are property details, so asking a specific set of questions for the type of property that you have to get all of the information that you need up front. Your marketing strategy, which will not just be MLS and sign out front. Sometimes, most of the time, it's not even going to have a sign out front. What your showing strategy is, and the fact that you will be showing the property to other agents and other buyers. And then finally, the transaction type. If you can wrap those things up, you're going to have the vast majority of everything that you need to move forward with your commercial real estate listing. Thanks, guys. See you next time.